Cowboys Nation, something is happening in Dallas right now, and most people are completely missing it. Not one move, not two moves, a coordinated, deliberate, aggressive plan to rebuild this defense from the inside out. And when you see how it all connects, you are going to wonder why nobody is talking about it. This offseason feels different, and I am going to show you exactly why, because once you see who they are targeting, what the film says, and why the timeline matters, you are going to realize the Cowboys are closer to fixing this defense than anyone is giving them credit for. Let's get into it. What's up, Cowboys? Welcome to the NFL Playbook Cowboys. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So, Cowboys Nation, let me give you a name. Malik Muhammad, Texas Longhorn, 4.42 in the 40, top 10 among all corners at the Combine, and right now, he is sitting inside the Cowboys facility for a 2-day pre-draft visit. That is not a routine. Teams do not give 2 days to players they are not serious about. That is film breakdown, scheme fit evaluation, football IQ testing, full medical review. That is a team doing everything short of handing him a jersey. And the reason this matters right now is simple. The Cowboys secondary is not fixed yet. Deron Bland has injury questions hanging over him. Siobhan Revel Jr. had a rough year and has not proven he can carry the position. You cannot walk into 2026 crossing your fingers and hoping the corner room holds together. You need speed. You need reliability. You need someone who can step in and actually compete. Muhammad brings all three. According to NFL analyst Lance Zierlein, he has starter-level ability. That is not a projection. That is not optimism. That is a scout telling you this player can play right now. He reads routes. He stays in phase. He does not panic when the ball comes his way. In zone, he keeps his eyes on the quarterback and breaks fast. And the versatility, outside corner, slot corner, that flexibility is exactly what Christian Parker's defense rewards. The only honest concern is frame. 6 feet, 182 pounds. He might end up in the slot long-term, but in today's NFL, that is not a weakness. That is just a role, and it is a role this defense desperately needs to be filled with someone who can actually handle it. Here is what makes the timing significant. Muhammad is projected late second round to early third round. The Cowboys have a third-round pick coming back from the OSA trade with San Francisco. That could be the exact landing spot. But here's the catch. His stock is rising. If teams fall in love with him the way Dallas appears to be doing, he might not be there when that pick comes around. So the 2-day visit is not just an evaluation. It is also the Cowboys making sure they know exactly how much they want him before someone else makes the decision for them. This has Cowboys DNA all over it. Texas product, rising prospect, underrated value. Dallas has found players like this before and turned them into starters. The question is whether they pull the trigger at the right moment or hesitate and watch him go somewhere else. Tell me in the comments, do you take Malik Muhammad in the 3rd round, or do you think corner can wait? Because in a second, I am getting into the move that cannot wait, the one that needs to happen before draft day even arrives.
You know, the Cowboys made real moves this offseason. Rashawn Gary on the edge, Jalen Thompson and P.J. Locke at safety, Kobe Durant at corner. The pass rush got attention. The secondary got attention. Christian Parker came in and changed the entire philosophy of how this defense gets built. But linebackers, still wide open, still a hole, still the kind of problem that does not disappear on its own. And that matters because in today's NFL, your linebackers carry the entire interior of your defense. They stop the run. They cover tight ends. They spy mobile quarterbacks. They communicate the protection calls that everything else is built around. If that position is weak, the whole structure becomes fragile, no matter how good the pieces around it are. The Patrick Queen conversation is already dead. Dallas was linked to him earlier this offseason. It would have been a good move. Young, explosive, capable of anchoring the position. But that door is closed. So now the question is, who is next? The answer, according to reports, is 2 names. In Cowboys Nation, these are not developmental guys. These are not names you squint at and hope for the best. These are legitimate impact players. The first name is Azeez Al-Shaair, currently with the Houston Texans, coming off a Pro Bowl season. Physical, aggressive, high motor. The kind of linebacker who flies sideline to sideline and hits with intent. In a system that rewards instincts and effort over pure size, Al-Shaair is a tone setter. He changes the energy of a defense the moment he walks into a building. The second name is Jordyn Brooks, and this one might be the more interesting conversation. Currently with the Miami Dolphins, Pro Bowl player, First Team AllPro in 2025. That is elite production, not just solid starter production, elite. And then there is the cultural fit. High school in Texas, college at Texas Tech. This is a player with roots in the state, familiarity with the culture, and the kind of pedigree that makes a locker room take notice. And here's the strategic layer that matters. Miami is in a different place than Houston right now. The Dolphins are in more of a rebuilding cycle. That likely means Brooks is more available. The trade cost is potentially lower, and Dallas can move without getting into a bidding war. And this front office has already shown they are willing to make trades when the value lines up. Quinnen Williams mid-season was proof of that. Now here's why this needs to happen before the draft and not during it. When teams carry a glaring need into draft weekend, they panic, they reach, they take a linebacker at pick 32 when a receiver or an offensive lineman was the right call. Dallas has done this before and paid for it. But if they solve linebacker now, they walk into the draft with full flexibility. Best player available becomes the actual philosophy instead of just the talking point. The math is simple. Fix linebacker before the draft and you free up every pick to add upside. Wait too long and the board makes the decision for you. To be honest with you, I think Jordyn Brooks is the move. The production is undeniable, the fit makes sense, and the Cowboys have shown they will go get a player if the moment calls for it. The moment calls for it. So, here's what I want you to take away from all of this. The Cowboys are not throwing darts at a board and hoping something sticks. There is a logic to what they are doing. Draft a corner with speed and scheme fit to address the secondary long term. Add a veteran linebacker with proven production to anchor the middle right now. Build a defense under Christian Parker that is faster, smarter, and harder to exploit than anything Dallas has put on the field in recent years. That is not a patch job. That is construction. And I will say something that might bother some people. This organization has given its fan base too many off-seasons of words without action, too many press conferences that sounded right and draft days that disappointed. But the moves being made right now, the aggression, the targeting of real players, the two-day visits, the Pro Bowl names on the trade board, that is a team that has looked at the tape and decided enough is enough. Cowboys Nation deserves a defense with an identity, a defense that does not fold in the fourth quarter. A defense that makes opposing offenses uncomfortable from the first snap. The pieces are on the table. Now let us see if this front office has the conviction to put them together. So now it's your turn. Drop your answer in the comments right now. Al-Shaair or Brooks, because this is the kind of decision that shapes what this defense actually becomes in 2026.